Okay, I think we can make a start, and then more people will join us as we go along. So, hello and welcome to this very special session on how you can thrive at university. This session's along with the other sessions that we've had over the next few weeks, from part of our Ready for Anything program. Hopefully, you might have joined us for some sessions already over the past couple of weeks. But for those who haven't, and this is your first, then welcome. All of you are here to have received an offer to study at MDX, which is amazing and it's just something you should be really proud of. And we hope you're looking forward to starting your course in September. We have a few different presentations today that evolve around helping you thrive during your times at Middlesex and what support is on offer to you. So this is a really useful session on just understanding all the amazing support services out there and all the things you can do to help enhance your experience at university. If you have any questions, that are more general, you might want to look at our frequently asked questions page. Our presenters are not experts in all areas, so they're only experts in their specific topic. So do check out this link that Kira will share now. And I think that's the sort of general gist of everything. We'll get started with our first presenters. We have Pierre Delaney, who works in our student welfare services, and Gabriel Baranga, one of our wonderful student ambassadors. And they will be talking to you today about the various support services like counselling, mental health, disability and dyslexia support, and how you can access them. Any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, or you can raise your hands and ask them verbally. We'll probably answer those questions at the end of their talk. Over to you, Pierre and Gabriel.
Thanks so much, Max, and good morning to everyone. And thanks for joining us on a Friday morning, especially. We're very happy to be here, and today we'll just go over a little bit of the support services that you have around Middlesex, both from students and from the university and the staff and faculty as well, to just have a general overview of everything that's there for you. And like Max said, you can put your questions in the chat, and we're going to try our best to leave some time at the end, some 5 minutes to go over them, because you will say there's loads of content, which is why thankfully you just won't hear my voice, but also Gabriel, who's joining me today. So hi, Gabriel.
Hi, Pierre. Thank you. Well, some of you may know me. I've seen probably some of you in some of the events that we've had at university as well. And my name is Gabriel. I have been with Middlesex for the past 4 years. I did a BA in business management and marketing, and now I'm just about to finish my master's in digital marketing. And also, like many of you, I'm an international student, so I know how daunting it can be right at the beginning. So I hope this session helps you understand a bit more about the support that we offer.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gabriel. So as we said, today we're going to go over a bit of the support available for you. And before we do that, I think it's really important to understand what do we call wellness, or what do we call well-being here at Middlesex. I think it's a word that's been everywhere around with mental health, wellness, well-being, and depending on where you come from, what you've studied, what's your kind of field of interest, it could mean many different things. So we just wanted to decide to make sure that we all mean the same thing when you will hear through your time in Middlesex that we are interested about your well-being, that we're concerned about your well-being, and that we really want to make sure that you are doing okay, you're feeling okay through your journey at uni. If you see on the screen right now, there's a wheel of wellness, and that's because it can be very easy, once again, depending on when and where you've heard of wellness or well-being, to think that you might just refer to your emotional wellness, to just your mental health, or that you can just refer to your spiritual wellness, to your physical wellness, and just to feel that it's about being fit. It's about having a healthy routine for your physical exercising. And we hope that through your time in Middlesex, you will understand, appreciate, and work towards having a holistic understanding of wellness. All these 8 pieces of this wheel are meant to interact with each other. And if you're doing okay in all of those, it's guaranteed that you will be feeling okay as completely as a whole person. Thankfully, for all these 8 little pieces, there is support in Middlesex for you to reach out to. And it might sound very easy when you just see the names and think of, okay, environmental and emotional wellness, financial wellness. But you just start in university, it's going to be a transitional time, as many have said. And it can be not as easy as it seems. And I'm sure, Gabriel, that was your experience too when you started.
Yes, and I remember that when I started, of course, I was a bit scared. Everything was new. And it took some time to actually create a routine around my wellness and the things that made me feel good. But as the weeks went by, I would say after the second or third week, things started falling into place because I started looking after, for example, my physical well-being. So I started working out. I was doing more physical activity, and I started feeling better. So that was just one of the dimensions that was already improving once I created a routine around wellness. The other aspect as well that you might be concerned is financial wellness. As students, sometimes we have to budget, especially international students who have the limit on the hours that they can work. So you just got to be careful with that in that sense. And of course, you can always treat yourself if you want to, do some shopping. You're going to be in London. It's very hard not to spend. London can be very expensive. But of course, there are ways to look after that dimension as well. I think the key word about all of this, all of that wellness wheel that we see is balance. Because if one side of that wheel is not doing all right, then it might impact the other areas as well. So as long as you keep the balance, this will make your life much, much easier as a student, especially at the beginning.
Absolutely. That is the key word, Gabriel. Couldn't agree more that balance is what we want to look for, what we want to have as a main objective. And one last thing that we wanted to mention before we go see the actual support services is that, especially because you might be new and you could just be new at uni or new in London, like Gabriel said, and new in the UK, and any kind of new roles, it can be very daunting to ask for help. It can be uncomfortable, it can be shameful, it can be embarrassing to just ask how to get the support in one of the specific areas. So please remember that you're definitely not the only one going through that. And everyone on some level struggles with finding a balance, because we're just, depending on who we are, and once again on a background, we might be great at financial organization, we might be great at budgeting, and not so good at organizing physical support to physical health. The same way we might be doing great emotionally, but we might be struggling academically, and so on. So please don't compare yourself to others. And if you think like you need some support to reach one of these areas to a better place, ask for support, and ask for support as soon as you can. Don't wait till it's a crisis moment. Something that we said the other time was, don't try to learn how to firefight during the fire. Try to learn it before, and then you'll be ready for when it happens, which, as we will say many times during this talk, we will hope it won't happen. But if you do, you know what to do with it. The first thing that we want to tell you about is a couple of resources that we call the first-hand support. And that's because they're really the front desk, to think in some way, of teams and groups of people that are ready to support you in many different ways. And the first one is UniHelp. And I think the name says it all. I'm sure if you've been exploring the website, the UniHelp, you've seen the name quite everywhere, including on the little chat on the top right of the screen whenever you just log in. UniHelp is a team of really well-trained advisors who can offer you guidance and orientation. They're sort of like a traffic officers that will be the best people to direct you towards the right service, the right person, the right way to contact the services in any way. So they should always be your first call for whatever kind of advice you need around uni and around the services. We will talk today in the next 20 minutes, a series of different organizations, support system, and support services. If there's one thing you have to remember is UniHelp, and to reach out to them. So don't feel like you need to remember all the names, all the acronyms, and good luck, because you will find many acronyms at Middlesex for the time that you will be here. But just remember UniHelp, and you can literally just tell them, I've heard that there's a service that can help me with this. Would you mind telling me which one is that, and how do I reach out to them? And they will be most happy to do that. You can reach out to them by phone. They also have an international number.
Yep. So basically, one of the questions that I get a lot is, how do I join the Students' Union? Well, to sum it up, if you are studying at Middlesex, you're automatically part of it. And what the Students' Union do is they represent us. So we have student representatives who are elected by us. They have full-time jobs, and they actually try and make things on campus work our way. They also provide you with advice. So as we'll see on the next slide, we have advice in terms of academic misconduct, appeals, complaints, extenuating circumstances. So just as one example of academic misconduct, plagiarism, it's probably the most common one, I would say. Let's hope it's not your case. We're all hoping that this is not going to happen to you. But sometimes when you do a work, you have to reference it. And if you do it improperly, or if you don't do it at all, you might get in trouble, because then you will be claiming someone else's work as your own. This is basically what plagiarism is. If you are in that situation, they will be able to provide you with advice and guide you in that process. In terms of extenuating circumstances, one example was COVID, or it could be any other circumstance in your life that you didn't really thought you were going to face, and it's disrupted something in your life, and then for some reason you cannot hand in your working time, for example, and you need an extension or a deferral. They will guide you in that sense as well. They can help you within that process. So in terms of academic and non-academic support, they will be there for you, and you can always reach out to them. But just mentioning a bit about academic misconduct and plagiarism, we have a team that actually I will be talking a little bit about later on, that they help you not get to that stage, because they will help you with referencing and all that process within academic writing. So don't worry too much about it. We hope this is not going to happen to you, but of course there will be people a longer journey that will support you to make sure that everything is going well.
Absolutely. Well said, Gabriel. And, both UniHelp and the Student Union are sort of kind of group services, in terms of this is a team of people that will attend to all students. But there is one person that will be entirely yours for the rest of your academic journey, and that's the personal tutor. This is someone that gets assigned to you and to you solely, to have a very individual relationship. This is someone that is usually a member of the staff, of the faculty, of your own program, which makes it even better, because it's someone that will understand the kind of course you're in, the kind of requirements and demands that what you're studying is. That is something that sometimes can be very difficult to explain to someone who's not studying the same thing as you. I mean, even if we think when we try to explain to parents what we're studying, that can be quite something to achieve. So your personal tutor is from your own program, and is there to support you, yes, academically, but in other things as well. The best thing that you will get with this is that, because this person will be a personal tutor, you will have scheduled appointments with them to check in during the term. That means that you have the great benefit of not having to chase a lecturer or a professor to find their office hours to try to talk to them if you have a general question about your path, because you will always have meetings with your personal tutor. And like I said, whilst they're mainly focused on your academic journey, they also are all experts on what kind of service or kind of support can help you, or any other of those other 7 areas of the wellness wheel that we were talking about. And remember that these are all people that are doing this voluntarily. So it's really a great group of people that wanted to do this and wanted to be there for the students on a one-to-one level, to make sure that you have that bond and the relationship to really help you thrive. A common question that I'm sure will pop up in the chat is, how will I know who is my tutor? And the answer is very simple. It does take a few weeks, normally the first 4 or 5 weeks of the program, for the department to assign you your tutor, but you will be notified when that happens and who is this person and the contact details. Your tutor will also be listed on the MDX app right under your details on your profile if you go in there. But again, that will only happen once it's been assigned by your program, up to the first weeks of the program starting. And speaking of academic support, there are some resources that are specifically for that kind of work that you will be doing, which supposed to be your main objective of uni, but we know that there's so much more than that. So why don't you talk a little bit about that great thing that's the SLA, the Student Learning Assistance, Gabriel?
Okay, so the Student Learning Assistance, or the SLAs, this is probably one of my favorite schemes at the university, and I was part of it for many, many years. Basically, what they do is that they're students who have done either your module or your course, or a very similar course, if not 100% the same one, and they get paid to help you. So they have done the assessments, they have done the exams, they are usually 1 year ahead of you, and they attend your seminars to support you in your learning process. So they can actually help you. If you're struggling to do an assignment, they can actually help you with that. Of course, they won't teach you, but they will be there to support you in that sense. And the good side of it is not only that you get helped, but if you do it really well in one module, you can, for example, be referred by a tutor, or you can apply and be accepted as an SLA to be helping students who come after you, who are maybe in the first year, if you're in the second, or if they're in the second and you're in the third. And that gives you many, many valuable skills, because it's your first, one of the first jobs that you can get at university, and it really helps you communicate with tutors. You can work with tutors from other modules as well. It's good for your CV, and you earn some money on the side. So it's a win-win situation. In terms of progression and support, we have the PST team, and basically they help you make sure that you are succeeding in your course. As one example is, in some courses you have core modules and you have optional modules. If you don't pass a core module, you're not able to progress. So that team is there to help you, to make sure that everything's going smoothly in your journey. And you can actually contact them via UniHelp as well. Just like many of the other services that we have, the SLAs as well, you can contact them via the UniHelp. They have a whole dedicated page on there. So if you feel like you need any help in that sense, in terms of academic support, just make sure you reach out. And one thing to mention as well, many of those services are located at the library as well. So you have the physical option, and you have the option to access them via UniHelp as well. And the last one that I wanted to talk about is the Learning Enhancement Team, or the LET. They also are part of the library support services, and they help you in terms of academic writing, numeracy. So if you're doing a course that has a lot of numbers, which is not my case, but it's the fact that as well, sometimes you're not used to academic writing, you're not used to referencing, and they will help you in that sense to make sure that you are okay and good to go with your assignments. So I remember that me and my classmates used to go a lot to them, because my first language is not English, and they helped me actually structure my sentence in a way that made sense and that was properly written at an academic level. So if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, and you feel like you're not 100% confident in terms of referencing, which is one of the things that I mentioned before. They will help you learn, they will help you understand how we reference at Middlesex University, and you will not be getting in trouble in terms of plagiarism, which was one of the things that we mentioned before with the MDXSU. But if you do get in trouble, they will be there to help you as well. So you're surrounded by support, basically, just to make sure that your journey goes smoothly.
Very well said, Gabriel. And like we were mentioning at the beginning, the resources out there, so it's important for you to reach out to them. We've had many students that don't discover, for example, the learning enhancement team until the second year, and they was like, oh, I wish we knew that, because I really needed help to start structuring assignments and writing academically. And now you know. So please just like keep that name in mind too. And that's all you need to remember. And then you can ask UniHelp. I'm trying to contact the learning enhancement team, LAT. How do I go about and do that? And the help will be there. Now, speaking specifically of mental health support, so that one part of well-being and the emotional one, before talking about those two main services I will mention, we want to remind you, if you didn't know yet, that just by being a student here at Middlesex, you have access to 4 really, really great online self-care apps or web platforms, depending on which one of the two. You can find on UniHelp the links for these 4, and they're really, really great because we like to call them as having the 24/7 support in your pocket. They're all overviewed by mental health clinical professionals, but they're mostly made for the students. So they have an option to have sharing skills, coping mechanisms, just tips within the students themselves. These are all anonymous platforms, but to have the sense of community that will really make you understand that you're not going through this by yourself, and that your fellow students, your fellow classmates can really help to give you some ideas and skills to feel better. And also something like Together or Fika also have online courses for you to, at your own pace, at your own way, whenever you can, learning some skills and learning some cognitive behavioral skills like CBT therapy, techniques to sleep better, to manage your negative thoughts, to manage your eating habits too. So it's really, honestly, a giant platform that you can have in your pocket to always keep track of your mental health. So please always remember that you have access to these. And then we have the Counseling and Mental Health Service, which is called CMH here, again, acronyms. And we are part of Student Support and Wellbeing. So again, we're just part of that family. And we're a team of mental health professionals that basically the main difference with all the services is that we are confidential. And that means that whatever you share with someone in the counseling and mental health team is private to you and the counselor or the mental health advisor that's working with you. Nothing stays on your academic records and nothing is shared with anyone unless you want us to. It's really important that if you're accessing counseling and mental health services, you are registered with a GP, which I'm sure, especially international students, you've been told of this the moment you arrive. It's so important that you have a GP assigned to you in London, in the UK, if you're living here, because it's the best way to centralize your access to many resources. And if you're seeing there in the purple bubble, our main objective from CMH is to make sure that you understand the kind of mental health support that you need, and that we can guide you towards accessing it. And for many of those things, the GP is someone we have to go through. So please, if you haven't yet, do register with the GP in the UK under your postcode. It's the best way to make sure that we can help you as much as we can. We have individual appointments, we have short-term counseling, mental health advising sessions, we have daily callbacks, which is a way for you to speak to a member of a staff on the same or the next business day, just by filling a quick form. So we're going to have that. And we also have group support. One of the most renowned ones here at the Middlesex community is the LGBTQ student group, the MDX Rainbow student group, which again are confidential spaces for sharing our experiences and feeling supported and have the sense of belonging that is so crucial when you start in uni. There's so much more about CMH that, of course, you can find more information on UniHelp, along with the referral processes as well. And the other service that is so important for you to know about is DDS, Disability and Dyslexia Services. I think the name tricked many of us into thinking that this is just about physical disabilities and about dyslexia, but they actually help you with so much more. As long as you have a health condition, including a mental health one, that has been diagnosed, which means that your GP, your doctor, has a document that says this person has this condition, you can get so much support that you probably didn't even know you're already, it's already in your hands. Depending on your condition, you might get extra time on assignments, you might get special rooms to do your assignments, to do exams, you might get a mental health mentor that will be with you for the rest of your program with weekly meetings, and so much more. So really, if you know that you have a condition of any kind, that you know it's diagnosed, that you have or you can have evidence for it, please contact DDS. The email is super easy, it's disability@mdx.ac.uk. And once again, you guessed it, you can also ask UniHelp on how to contact them. But it's a really nice way to make sure that we gave you the best instruments, the best support for you to have the best journey at university, regardless of what condition or what struggles you might be going through. And the last thing about DDS is that they can also help you to make your disabled students allowance, the DSA, request, which thankfully we have an access center right on the Middlesex campus. It's called the North London Regional Access Center. And we have great specialists that you will hear about right after our talk at 11:30 that can help you go through that request of additional support. This is government funded. It's not funded by Middlesex, which obviously makes it much bigger, the kind of support you can get. They can even help you get transportation vouchers, different kinds of technology that you may need to really excel in terms of laptops, of support for even chairs and things like that. So I'm not just going to talk about it much because Irina is coming right after us to talk about it. But please pay major attention to her, because once again, there might be huge support for you that you might even know you were entitled to. And I think that's it for us. We have those couple of minutes for some questions for me and Gabriel. So please go ahead and let's take a look at that on the chat. And as well, please look up for services in UniHelp as well. And you can ask UniHelp at any point, any questions about the services too. Seeing the questions and mostly about accessing the recording of the session, which Max already answered. Let me see. Do you see anything else, Gabriel, that?
No, very quiet. If you have any questions, this is the moment, really. I encourage you to ask as many as you can, even though we have 1 minute left, but it would be nice if we can help you in any way.
See loads of the when is my course going to start, which is a really important question. I'm really happy you're asking. Okay. Well, if there isn't anything else, like we said, we're happy to answer questions as well afterwards. So you saw some of the links on the presentation that you can see the recording to, or you can also, as I said, go to UniHelp and say, I'm trying to get in touch with disability services, with counseling services, with the student union and so on. How do I get in touch with them? And they will get you connected right away.
Sorry, I got one question. Hello, can you
hear me?
Go
ahead.
What is GP? Sorry,
that's a UK term, and I just learned it 2 years ago, Dustin, so I completely understand. That's the doctor. When you are in the UK, you can register with a doctor that usually it's within your same postal code. So it's someone that you can go to that's close to where you live. Especially in the UK, you need to be registered with a doctor for any other kind of health services that you might need. So it's just a doctor that's assigned to you that you can just go to regularly. If you haven't yet, you can find on a website, and I'll put it out on the chat, but we work with the Uni Doctor, which is a practice of doctors close to campus here on Wembley that work with several Middlesex students. They're really cool. They're really great with students, and they know our population. So if you haven't registered with a doctor, with a GP yet, you can do on their website. It's free. It's 30 seconds, just filling out your information, and then you will get assigned a doctor from their practice. But that's what a GP is. It's just your assigned doctor from the NHS services.
So it's advisable to get a GP that is when your accommodation is close to the doctor.
Yeah, that's what's best recommended. So in case you ever need to go because you feel sick or you have something, it's easy for you to access. That's right.
But that'll be when you're fully balanced, like you've settled in properly.
Absolutely, you got it right.
Thank you.
We have another question. When can we access our timetable? So basically, enrollment opened on the 1st, I think that was 2 days ago. And from then on, after you enroll, just give it a few days and then you'll be able to visualize your timetable. But that's all on UniHub. But you need to make sure that you have enrolled first. Otherwise, you're probably not going to be able to see the timetable anyways. I think I would say leave it around a week and then you should be able to visualize it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I think we'll move on. Big thank you to Pierre and Gabriel for delivering such a helpful, insightful talk on all the amazing support services and what the SU does and SLAs and so much information. And it just shows how much support there is for you once you arrive on uni. And I think the main takeaway is, if you've got any questions, do reach out to UniHelp. They're great. They're the best place to start. But again, thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Gabriel. We are now moving on to our next presenter, who is Irina, who is our Access Centre Manager, and she works as part of the Learning Support Services team at Middlesex. Irina is going to talk to you today about the different types of support for disabled students in higher education and how to access them. Irina, if you're ready to go, we'll pass on to you.
Yes, can you see my slides?
Yep, we can see them.
Fantastic. Welcome everybody to my talk. It's great to see you on a Friday morning, ready for the weekend, ready for some rest, but I'm going to get you to do some work today along with me. So my name is Irina and I work in the Access Centre. Pierre mentioned about the different types of support that we have, but today we are going to also do some myth busting because there is a lot of confusion amongst people about disability and what kind of conditions would be considered a disability and also what kind of support there is. So let's have a look at what we have today, what we are going to cover. So, So what we are going to do first is talk about the different types of support the disabled students can access in higher education and how to do that. What conditions will be eligible for the different types of additional support, and how the support you get at university differs from that from school and college. Right, and of course I said I'll get you to work. So my first question to you is, if you could have a superpower, which one would you choose? Would you choose to fly, to become invincible, or to be able to memorize everything you see, hear, or read? As a student, which one would you choose? I know which one I would choose, but I want to know what you would choose. Okay, so you have the questions on your screen. Max has posted them. So you can answer just this one. There are 7 altogether. Let's see.
So if you look at the bottom of your screen, there should be a button that says polls. If you access this, you can answer question 1 on there.
So would you prefer to have wings and fly above campus and see everything? Would you want to be invincible so nothing can touch you and hurt you? Or would you be able to memorize all the lectures you're going to attend and all the books you're going to read?
So I see no one's answered that yet. I think that might just be because we're trying to find the polls button. So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a few buttons. One of them says polls. You might need to hover your mouse or touch your screen with your finger if you're using your phone. Now we've started to get a few answers in.
Fantastic. Okay, so some of you answering the rest of the questions. That's fine. That's fine. We'll go through them. Excellent. We are getting some answers. Fantastic. Okay, so you have access to the 7 questions I'll have for you until the end of my talk. So as a student at Middlesex University, you might not be able to get wings and fly. You might not be able to memorize absolutely everything, but we as a university, we want to transform your potential into success, because you do have a lot of potential as students, and where you need a little bit of help, we're there to help you so you can achieve on your course. And our mission is that everybody at Middlesex University will have the opportunities and tools to chart their path to success in a community where the experiences we create together are life-changing and our diversity is a strength and inspiration. So we want to see all of you achieve. Okay. And I have a second question for you. What percentage of students in higher education do you think are disabled? So what percentage have declared a disability in amongst the student population in the UK? And we are talking only about home students, so only UK students. Let's see what you think. Is it 6%? Is it 11%? Or is it 17%? Are you answering? Good, good, good. I'm getting some very, very good answers. Okay, I think the majority of you are right. You've said 17%. In fact, the correct figure is 17.3% of all UK-based students have declared a disability or a condition that is affecting their studies. This is 1 in 6 students. Okay. And what is interesting is that research shows that those students who have declared a disability and have accessed the support that is offered, they stay on their course, they continue on their course, they achieve at the same rate as students who haven't declared a disability. But those who are disabled and not have sought support, they don't do as well, and many drop out. So it's really important that you get the support that you need. Okay, and you might be wondering, oh, well, I really don't want to tell the university about the mental health condition I have because I don't want to be discriminated against. I don't want to be treated differently. Or I have a specific learning difficulty, dyslexia, and I think I can just get by. Well, don't worry about sharing your information, us sharing your information with people that shouldn't know. We only share the information with the people who need to help you and people who need to know. So don't worry about the confidentiality. We're really hot on that. Okay, and I've got another question for you. We talked about the different disabilities. We mentioned them, and I would like you to tick here all the disabilities that would qualify somebody for additional support. Okay, so depression and anxiety, are they a disability? Sickle cell, dyslexia, and ADHD, arthritis, and back pain. Which of these would be considered disability according to law, to the law? Okay, I'm getting some very good answers. Okay, I must tell you that actually all of these conditions would be considered a disability, because according to the Equality Act, if you have a physical or mental impairment that has a substantial long-term and negative effect on your ability to do day-to-day activities, you are disabled. Okay, so you would be protected by law and you would be getting the support that you need. And this includes also specific learning difficulties such as dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, and mental health conditions. We have anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, eating disorders, but many, many more, because there is a long list of conditions, mental health conditions that would qualify someone for additional support. And of course, all the invisible disabilities or long-term medical conditions such as fibromyalgia, allergies, epilepsy. Also, long COVID may affect somebody in such a way that, for example, they get very tired very quickly, and a lot more people are now declaring this as a condition. And of course, you are protected by law if you do have long COVID. So again, the list here is just an example. It's much longer. Mobility difficulties, so somebody who has arthritis or back pain or sciatica, and of course, if somebody has a missing limb, for example. Visual and hearing impairments, of course, also qualify. So now, I want to take you through the two types of support available to Middlesex students at university. The first one you can see on screen is support by Middlesex University, and is available to all students, regardless of their student status, international, EU, or UK students. And the second one is the government support Pierre mentioned. This is the disabled student allowances. And to be eligible for that, you have to meet certain criteria, which I'm going to go through. But first, let's have a look at what the university can do for you. And I'm going to test your knowledge. Out of these four types of support, which ones do you think Middlesex can help you with? Extra time for exams, considerate marking, ergonomic chair for your residence, or a special seat or chair in lecture rooms. So you can answer, I mean, the correct answers are more than one. So you can tick as many as you think are correct. Let's have a look what you are saying. Good, good, good. Okay. So the majority of you are right. The only thing actually that would not be covered by Middlesex is ergonomic chair for your residence. So Middlesex cannot bring a chair to you, but the DSA, the government support, can actually help you there. So let's have a look in a little bit more detail what Middlesex can help with. So exam concessions, if you need extra time for your exam, if you need to take your exam in a different room, or if you need, for example, a computer for your exam. Considerate marking, this is when somebody, because of their disability or conditions such as dyslexia, makes a lot of spelling errors. This is to tell the lecturer that because of your disability, you shouldn't be downgraded for spelling errors or grammar errors. And you can get this type of adjustment at Middlesex. Ergonomic furniture for your lecture rooms or seminars, extended library loans, different adjustments for your lectures. For example, the lecturer to be talking when they're speaking, to speak to you or in front of you where you can see their lips, if you, of course, lip read. So there are many different adjustments that can be put in place for students with disabilities. And of course, confidential advice and guidance and liaison with other specialists across the university and services. Okay. Now, to access this type of support, you need to contact the Disability and Dyslexia Service. So you can see their telephone number and their email address. At the moment, the support is only remote, but when we get on campus in about 2 weeks' time, long before you start lectures, the Disability and Dyslexia Service, along with counseling and mental health, will be based in Sunny Hill House, which is on campus. So it's not very difficult to find. You can go and talk to them in person. And of course, to be eligible for support, you need to bring your medical evidence. So if you have a GP letter or general practitioner letter or doctor's letter, because there was a question about that. So doctor's letter or hospital letter confirming that you have a long-term medical condition or another disability, bring it along because you need that. Now let's talk about the DSA, Disabled Student Allowances. These are grants. So they're paid directly into the student's account, but not in the form of money. They're in the form of support. So you can access support up to £25,000, maybe less, depending on your disabilities. But the maximum is 25,000 per year per student. And also depends on your student status. You don't have to pay this money back like your course loan. So why not apply for that? And the eligibility criteria are strict. You have to be home UK student, you have to be on a higher education course, and you have to have one of the conditions that would qualify you. And this condition has to have substantial, long-term, and negative effect. So fibromyalgia, sickle cell, dyslexia, any mental health condition would qualify you. We covered all of those. Now I've got another question for you. So what support do you think the DSA can help students with? And I think if you have listened to what Pierre said earlier in his presentation, you would be able to answer. Again, more than one correct answer here. Is it assistive software for spelling, reading, and recording? One-to-one support by a specialist? Taxi to lectures? Ergonomic equipment? Which ones of these are the correct answers? Let's see what you have said. Only about 20% of you can get taxi. You can. All of these are correct. So the DSA can help with one-to-one support by a specialist. For example, a student with dyslexia would be able to get study skills by a dyslexia specialist. A student with mental health or autism would be able to get specialist mentoring for somebody to talk to them about exam anxiety, prepare them with techniques, how to manage that. Somebody with a hearing impairment will get a British Sign Language interpreter for lectures and seminars, so you can hear everything the lecturer is saying. Students with visual impairment and hearing impairment would qualify for specialist note taker, so you don't have to worry about taking notes of your lectures. Somebody would be taking notes for you. And of course, students who qualify would be able to get travel to university in a cab, not a black cab, but quite comfortable taxis, I must say, when you are not well. Okay, so if you are struggling on public transport because you have very high anxiety or you have mobility difficulty, we can arrange this through the DSA. Assistive software and equipment. So for example, a software that can talk to you instead of you having to read the books, the textbooks. You open the electronic book on your computer and then the computer reads it to you. Or if you don't know how to structure your assignment, there is a planning software that you can work with. If you don't know how to start your assignment, but you can say it, you can answer the questions verbally. Then if you speak to the computer will write for you. So there are different types of assistive software, spelling, again, recording, so many different types. Ergonomic furniture for your home. So this is where you get the chair, maybe adjustable table, different types of peripherals for your computer, maybe different mouse, maybe different keyboard. So you'd be able to get that. And if a student has special visual or hearing impairment, they'll be able to get specific software and equipment for that. Now, the Disabled Student Allowance is a unique support package, which means it's unique for the unique students because all students have different needs. Some students may have more than one condition, so they may be eligible for more things from the DSA. It really depends on the condition you have been approved by DSA for, and then on your study needs. So for example, somebody with dyslexia will have different package from somebody with hearing impairment. Okay, and to determine this, after you have been approved in principle for DSA, you come for a study needs assessment at the Access Center where I work, and we'll book you to see a specialist assessor who will talk to you about the different needs that you have and then put together a package with you, of course, that will work for you. They'll show you different things and you'll say, okay, this would work for me, this won't work for me. So we can make these recommendations to the funding body so that they can fund you for the support, okay? These are telephone numbers and the landline is the same as for dyslexia. And we are based in Shepherd Library, which you may know if you have visited campus already. It's very easy to find us. Right, now to apply for the DSA, you can do that online. And this is what the website looks like. It's a government website. It's a straightforward procedure, but you do need your medical evidence, okay, to upload or to email. And if you don't know how to apply, if you need help with your application or you have any questions, you you really should contact the disability service at Middlesex to register with them, because if you don't register with them, they won't be able to help you at all. They won't be able to put the exam adjustments for you. They won't be able to help with the application for DSA. So really important. Now, another question, and here you have to actually type, and you can type in your in the chat box. If you apply for the DSA, when do you think your support will be in place? And here you need to give your suggestions. Is it one day? Is it as soon as possible? Is it 1 week? Is it 2 days? Is it 5 weeks? Is it 1 year? What do you think? Can Max tell me what people have put in the chat box? Let's see what people think.
We have a few people answering within 24 hours. The person said for the duration of the course, a couple of 1 weeks. But yeah, I think the opinion is ASAP, really.
Okay, good. Well, the DSA, once you get it, it will be for the duration of your course. So you apply at the beginning, and until the end of the course, you are getting the taxes, the one-to-one support, etc., etc. But to actually get it, after you apply, it can take longer than you thought. It can take up to 3 months, and this depends on the medical condition, on how quickly you get the medical evidence together. It depends on when you attend your assessment. So it can take longer than you thought. Sometimes it can take maybe 4 weeks, I would have thought, because the process is very, very long-winded. And this shouldn't discourage you, though, because once you apply and you register with the disability service, they can take you through it step by step and update you. Okay, so the process goes like this. You put in an application with your medical evidence. It takes about 2 weeks for it to be approved. So just in principle, then you need to attend study needs assessment. And if you book straight away, within 2 weeks, you get your report, and your report will have been submitted to DSA. So this is 4 weeks already since you applied, okay? And then you get the approval, and you have to access the support. So the quickest is 4 weeks. But if you need diagnostic for dyslexia, for example, and you don't have a diagnostic report, or you need to get your medical evidence, you may put your application, but by the time you supply the medical evidence, it can take longer. Okay, so that's why I would advise you, don't lose time. Start the process as soon as possible, because you'll be losing out on support otherwise. Okay, so what I would advise you is, if you have more than one condition, and for your one, let's say you have allergies, severe allergies, or another medical condition, and you think you might be dyslexic, but you don't have a diagnostic for that, I would advise you to put your medical evidence for allergies straight away and apply, because we can assess you and you can get some of the support. Or if you have back pain. So, for example, for a student with back pain, this is what we would get them: some assistive software, ergonomic chair, and taxis, depending on really how bad the back pain is. And then the student can get a diagnostic for dyslexia later on, and then we can top up the support with one-to-one support, a pen that can scan text for you and read it to you and help you with the spelling, and some additional software. So we can do that. You can apply. Don't worry about applying for all your conditions at the same time. You can submit medical evidence, additional medical evidence for additional condition later on. But if you have something now, apply. Okay, and now another question you have to write in the chat. Who do you think is responsible for organizing the support for you? Is it your lecturer? Is it the dyslexia team? Is it your personal tutor? Is it the receptionist in UniHelp? Or is it the UniHelp advisor? Or is it you? What do you reckon?
Just a couple more answers come in, but a couple of people said the government, the UniHelp advisor as well. See if there's a couple more coming in. Someone said yourself. So there's a real mix of answers here.
Okay, well, government can help. They can say whether you are eligible or not. The UniHelp advisor will tell you where to go to seek help. But actually, it is you as a student that has to hold the reins and organize it all and, get it together. So, but don't worry, because we are there to support you. What you need to do is start the process. So first of all, you need to think, do I have a medical condition that would qualify me? Do I have a disability or maybe specific learning difficulty? Who to ask for help, and actually go and ask for help. Because here is how support differs from support at school, at college. Because at school and college, probably the support team found out where you are and came and offered the support. At university, you are an adult and you need to be an independent learner. So we would wait for you to make contact. And also, we can't really share your information with any other service. We can't tell the government, one of our students has a disability, please give them the DSA support. You have to make the application. You have to contact the disability service, okay? So, but don't worry, if you don't know where to start, ask. You can go to UniHelp. You can contact the disability team and say, look, I think I've got a medical condition that would qualify me. What do I need to bring? And register with you. So this is where my talk finishes, and now it's your turn to ask me questions. So thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for answering all the questions. You got most of them right. And I hope it has been insightful. It has helped you with information. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer now. We only have 3 minutes. You can answer you can ask your questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and answer and ask. I know you're thinking of the weekend, aren't you? It's coming up. I'm the same. Don't worry. We're all the same. All right. Well, if you don't have any questions, you might actually come up with something you want to know over the weekend. You can ask UniHelp. And I would definitely advise those of you who think they might have a medical condition to contact disability and register. Just drop them an email and say, I would like to register with you. I have such and such condition. Or do you think I would be eligible? And they would come back to you and book you an appointment with a disability advisor, a confidential appointment with a disability advisor. All right.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Irina.
Thank you.
Really insightful, and hopefully a really eye-opening experience for everyone. And do just reach out, even if you're not too sure. Just reach out, like Irina says. So thanks again for that presentation. So now we'll be going on to our next group of presenters. We have Tony, Danielle, and Kez from the Sports and Recreation Service at Middlesex, and they are here to support with your general wellbeing while you're a student at the university. They're going to talk to you today about the range of free activities to help you maintain an active lifestyle whilst at uni, and also highlight some of the benefits of doing so. And then we're also going to do a little desk stretch activity. So plenty of things to do and to look forward to in this session. Are you guys ready to start presentation? Great, over to you. Sorry, Danielle, you're on mute.
That happens a lot. Excuse me. You know, you're lucky that I still got signal, because you could be having going on. Okay, sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. My name is Danielle, and welcome to our presentation. I'm here with my colleagues Tony and Kezi. So we will be going through some well-being stuff, so physical well-being stuff. Okay, let me just start my presentation so you guys can see. Here we go. All right, so as I said, again, nice to meet you all. So we are going to be doing, first off, is a little bit of an active break, so some desk stretches, because I understand you guys have been on this presentation for a little bit already today. So we're just trying to give you a little break so you can move your body around. I'm sure that if you've got a smartwatch or anything like that, it's told you that you need to get up and start moving. So we are going to get you moving, okay? And then we're going to go through things that you can do on campus to keep your lifestyle nice and active, introduce you to our MDX Moves platform, give you a little bit of insight into our gym memberships and where you can find us, and then finish off with some questions, okay? So first things first, is they're going to have an active break. So I'm going to pass you all over to my colleague, Kessie, who will be doing our stretch session for the next 10 minutes. Okay.
Hello, hi everyone. Hopefully it's not too echoey, but hopefully you guys can hear me. So we're just going to go through some stretches of the body just to get you nice and wiggly. And then Danielle will do some nice talks about why the fitness pod is so great. So if everyone just sits up nice and straight in their chairs, we're just going to start rolling the shoulders back. So nice and back. Very easy. Oh, if you feel a couple of creaks and cracks, it's totally fine. Okay, we're then going to take it to the elbows. So nice full circles. You can squeeze your shoulders back as you're doing this. Lovely. And just imagine you're drawing circles with your elbows, basically. Luscious. And we're going to take it to full arm. So if you have the room, nice full arms. If you can kind of feel your shoulders like raising up, really pull them back. So you have a nice long neck. Beautiful. We're then going to reverse it. So we're going to bring them forward this time. Lovely. 4, 3, 2. We're going to take it into the elbows. The elbows this time are coming forward. Nice, nice, nice. Beautiful. 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to go back into the shrugs. So the shrugs are coming forward this time now. 4, 3, 2, 1. So your hands are coming out to the side. All you're going to do is touch your shoulders. So it might feel a bit funny, it might look funny, but your shoulders will like it. Perfect. Oh, don't know if you guys can hear my elbow clicking right now. Okay, we're going to bring it forward. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take it to our head. So the head goes to the left or right, then straight, left, right, straight. So just a few of these, just open up the neck. Lovely, nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. We got ear to shoulder. So keep your shoulders where they are. Just take the ear towards that shoulder. Again, if you feel creaks, cracks, as long as it's not painful, it's normal. Your body's like a glow stick, so it's just waking up right now from sitting at the desk. Lovely. Got 2 of these. 1, 2. We're going to take it to a full circle. So you're going to drop the chin, raise it up slightly, and just around. So we've got 3 of these. 1, 2. So nice and slow so you don't get dizzy. And last one, and we're going to take it the other direction to even out all sides. And keep breathing. We've got the last one. Nice. So your arm's going to come up. It's going to rest on the ear. And then you're just going to open up that neck a little bit more. You should feel a nice stretch all along. So if you can kind of feel like you're holding tension up here like this, really relax the shoulders, relax, relax. I'm going to have a few deep breaths here and enjoy. Maybe there. Perfect. And the other side. So again, keep that shoulder down. Okay. So try and keep the head straight on this one. Can everyone feel the stretch? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, sweet. We're going to take this arm, it's going to go across the body. We're going to have the other arm coming up, and they should be able to feel a nice stretch here. So hold it. But then I'm going to take this arm, so you're going to have your hand to the middle of your back, in between your shoulder blades as much as possible. If you can feel the stretch here, that is more than enough. But if you need a little bit more help, just press into it a bit more. If you can kind of feel your chin down like this, then make sure it's up. You have a nice gap from your chin to your chest. Nice. Hold it. And then other side. So we're going to have this arm coming around, and then pull it back a little bit. Nice, guys. Again, if you can feel the shoulder up, push it back, make it nice and relaxed. Beautiful. And breathe. So a few more breaths here. And I'm going to take this hand to the middle of the back, and then same what we did just now, just the other side. So you're going to push it if you need to. Again, keep that nice gap between your chin and your chesty. Lovely. I'm just going to breathe into the stretch. Perfect. So we're just going to roll our wristies. That feels nice. Again, if you can feel creaks and cracks, it's fine. It's fine. And the other way. Ooh, that's always hard. Okay, we're going to push one hand. So if you can see, you're going to have one hand out in front of you. Then you're just going to pull back on the fingers. So even if your arm is a bit bent, that's totally fine. As long as you can feel the stretch in your forearm, lashes. Nice. So a few seconds here, then we'll flip the hand over and do the top. We'll hold it. Okay, we're going to flip the hand over and then gently push back on the hands here, and you should feel a nice stretch on the top. Again, if you have to have your arm bent, even a little bit, that's perfectly fine as long as you can feel the stretching. And breathe. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So hands coming flat first, and you're going to pull back. Nice. And just breathe. And then we're going to flip it over and pull back so you feel it on the top. Lovely, guys. Okay, I'm going to take our arm all the way up. So keep a nice straight back, keep your shoulders down. We're just going to take it to the side, just to feel a nice stretch all along the side of your body. Okay, so you don't want to come forward, don't go back, just go directly to the side. We're going to hold it. Can everyone feel that stretch? Yes, no, maybe. Perfect. Lovely. Nice, nice, nice. So hold it. Sometimes it feels gross if you feel a bit tight, but it's good for you. Breathe in. And the other side. Delicious. Now think some nice thoughts as you're stretching. we're going to bring it round. So you're going to hold your arms here. All you're going to do is keep your hips nice and forward. You're going to hold your arms and then you're going to twist the torso either side. So it's just the top half. Don't just do it with your arms because that's cheating. We're literally just doing the whole body as one unit. So nice and slow. And you might feel a couple of back cracks. Again, that's all good because we're glow sticks. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And last one. Okay, what we do is we're going to roll all the way down. So you're going to drop your head to your chest. Chest comes down to your knees, and then you're going to have your hands just hanging on the side. And then we're going to roll up. So you're going to breathe in on the way up, and then breathe out as we're rolling down. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. And last one. Sweet. So this time we're going to hold it all the way down. We're just going to hang here, have a nice heavy head as well. And you should feel a nice opening of your back. So if you need to kind of shake your head a little bit, like nod it back and forth, please do. Then we're going to slowly roll up, super slow. So your head's the last thing to come all the way up. I'm going to breathe. Okay, I'm going to breathe in. And I'm going to breathe out. So hopefully you guys have room. Breathe in. And then breathe out. We got 2 more of these. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Oh, we've got one hand here. One hand here. And well done, everyone. This is so cheesy. I love it. Okay, thank you guys very much for joining in. I hope you feel like wiggly now and like a little glow stick when you crack and now you're awake. So have a nice day. Listen to Danielle because she says really good things about the gym, and let's just bye.
Thank you. All right, guys, so that was our lovely Kessie, one of our gym instructors. So if you do come on down to the gym, you will be able to meet her and possibly get some sessions with her. She does our fitness classes. So, you know, once you join the gym, because I'm sure that all of you will be joining the gym after this, you can come on down and have some sessions. All right, so let's carry on. What presentation? There we go. It took its time. It's like it wanted to catch up with me. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go on to is how to be active in your lifestyle on campus while you're here at university. So the World Health Organization, which you guys have probably heard quite a bit about due to the COVID pandemic and all that kind of stuff, because they are the people that regulate health restrictions and things like that. So they have said that at a minimum, you should be doing at least 30 minutes of exercise every week. Okay, at least 5 times 30 minutes of exercise. That's not a lot of time. It's literally a little quick walk somewhere, a jog. Let's say you do some gardening or you like climbing, you might be that person, you know, walk your dog, anything like that. That kind of stuff is what they class as exercise or physical activity. But they need it to be moderate to intensity, and this will improve your mental health and your well-being. Okay, so we understand that everyone has time constraints, but we can all fit in at least 30 minutes into our day, okay, of physical activity. So we try to make things as flexible as possible, so having flexible solutions for that. So if we can keep things into minimal things, so let's say you do 10 minutes in 3 different intervals for that day, and then you go and do that 5 times a week. There you go. Everyone can at least fit in 10 minutes a day of exercise. I'm trying to make a plan here, so don't worry, I've got an idea to come. So we do that by having here on campus, we have low cost and also free activities available for all students and staff members. Okay, we also have our rewards program, which you guys can actually join at the end of this session. We'll give you a link so you can join it. So you can do physical activity, as we said, it can be any kind of physical activity, as long as you keep moving and your tracker is moving, it's all tracked and your points are gained, and then rewards can be built from that. You can also stay connected with friends. Doing physical activity is a great way to build a community, network with people, and make new friends. Okay. Also, you get to compete. If you're competitive like me and you always want to win, you know, you can do that as well. Okay. So what we have numerous activities. As we said before, or as I said before, we've got our free activities that are available. So we have here near at MDX House. So if you haven't come to campus already, please do, and please book onto a tour because it will give you great insight to where everything is. So you can find the fitness pod and the sports department in the basement of MDX House. So once you come in through the doors, you turn left again, back on yourself, and then you go down the stairs. You can find us there with the student union. And a lot of the time, people don't find us until they leave university when they come to get their graduation jumpers from student union. And then we get these baffled faces like, oh, they didn't know we were there. So I'm telling you guys now, I'm going to say it again, the basement of MDX House, so you won't forget. Okay, that's where you find us. So we have our free activities up outside, which is we've got a free basketball court. So it's 3-on-3 basketball. We've got 2 of those set up. Also, we've got at least 3 table tennis tables scattered around the university. As students, you can also visit Barnet Copthall Leisure Centre and do free swims every Tuesday and Thursday. It's just a case of booking onto their sessions, making sure there's no other restrictions there, and then go on down. It's literally a 15-20 minute walk from campus, from the front of campus. We also have our organised social events. So we have social activity Wednesdays, but we also do have ongoing social activities such as dodgeball nights, games nights. So if you're a fan of FIFA or anything like that, we have games nights, also giant Jenga, giant chess. We love our giant games. So we have those kind of activities. There is a student football league that will be going on this year. And then to finish off all of that, we have our Scimitar Challenge, which will be inter-university challenge. So we'll be having activities throughout the year, which will then culminate in a big social activity day at the end of the year. Then if it's that you want to learn a new sport, so you don't necessarily want to just be active, you actually want to learn a new sport. So we have our Learn It, Love It program, which is a group of different activities. So you pay a small fee and you'll be able to learn a group of different activities for at least 8 weeks. So if you learn it, you love it, you can move on to the competitive sports side. If you don't, you might want to move on to something else, then you can go and do something else. Or let's say you don't even want to compete, you just enjoy doing it, you might want to carry on and do it somewhere else as well. So we have those opportunities there for you. Then we also have our sports teams. So we've got a number of different sports teams. There is about 35 different sports teams, and you guys will be able to sign up for those. So our trials weeks will be the first 2 learning weeks of university of the year. So the last week in September and the first week in October. That is when you will be able to come and trial for any of those sports, because it'll all be free. So you won't have to pay your sports membership just yet. So you'll be able to trial them and see which one you want to do, and then go on from there. Okay. So moving on, we have our MDX Moves program. So remember I told you there is a way for you to get free stuff. Everyone loves free stuff. Free stuff always feels better, tastes better. I've noticed this. You know, you might not like something. Let's say you're not a fan of avocado, even though I am a fan of avocado, but you had a free avocado sandwich. That would taste so much nicer than a normal avocado sandwich. Okay, so free stuff is always better, but there is a way for you to get free stuff. So you just download the MDX Move platform, and it's an app. So all you need to do is be active, be moving, and your points will get generated. You can take those points and then gain rewards. Okay, so you can do that with let's say you've got a Fitbit, any kind of smartwatch. So if your smartwatch, anything like that, has a tracker on it, which they all normally do, you can do that. Also your smartphones, let's say you've got Google Fit, or your Apple phone has its tracker set, you can gain your points from that movement as well. Okay, and as I said before, earning those points gets you free stuff. What kind of free stuff can you get, you ask? So you can get free coffee, free food, t-shirts, hoodies, etc. Okay, as you can see in the picture there, we've got massages, all that kind of stuff as well. Free personal training programs. Also, you can get free access to the gym, so you might be able to generate enough points to get a free gym membership for a certain amount of months. Okay, so all those kinds of things are available. Then let's talk about our gym. Okay, as you can see, our lovely gym in the background. This gentleman here in the picture is Adrian, one of our fitness instructors. So it's another gentleman that you would meet, or you will meet once you join the gym, because I know, again, you all will join the gym, which is located where? Basement of MDX house. Yes. Okay, so we do have a new gym membership that we are offering to students, which is £20 for the academic year. So this membership started on the 1st of September, which was 2 days ago, and it will run until the end of May. So the full academic year, okay? And as we do, we start our academic year in September, and we'll finish when everyone finishes their exams. So as I said before, £20 for the full academic year, okay? So the only stipulation there or restriction there is that you would need to be into the gym and ready to leave by 4 p.m. Okay, but all weekends are, so the whole weekend is free, so you'll be able to be in there as much as you want, but the only restriction is that on weekdays you need to be in there before 4 p.m. Okay, included in that would be a free induction. So we just want to make sure that you're safe and you know what you're doing. Also, you can have a free personal program. Okay, we have accessible fitness equipment. So our gym is completely level or with ramps, so there are no steps in our gym. So it is accessible to wheelchair users or people with limited functionality in the lower body. So we make sure that everything is accessible in there. Also, we have wheelchair accessible machine equipment, so they all adjust so that you can wheel your wheelchair in and actually access all the equipment there. Okay, our fitness instructors are all qualified, level 3 qualified, so we have free personal training, not free personal training, but free fitness advice. Should you need have any questions, they're all there and willing to answer your questions. Our locker rooms are available while you're in the gym. So we have lockers. You would need to buy a padlock. So the padlocks can be either purchased through your points on MDX Moves, or you can pay £6 if you wanted that before you've done that. So you can pay your £6, get your padlock, and then you can use the lockers. Okay. And we also do have other memberships. So let's say you want to use the gym for a little bit longer. We have reduced our prices. So if you wanted to use you wanted to do a direct debit, it would be £16 per month for students, or £160 for 12 months. Okay, so that is me done and rambled. If you guys have any questions and you haven't put them in the chat and my colleagues haven't answered them, please either give me a wave and ask your question, or again, as we said, Max will read off any of the other questions that are in the chat. Okay, go.
Is there a women's football team?
Yes, there you go. Yes, we do have a women's football team. Please come down and join us. We are located, the captains will be located at the Freshers Fair. So all our captains will be there, and that's probably the best time to get engaged in our sports teams, because they will take your name, tell you exactly where you need to be, when that trial session will be, and then you guys can come on down. But yes, there is a women's football team. We have women's sports as well as men's sports. Carry on, go on.
Fantastic. Is it essential to use a Fitbit for point tracking?
No. So Fitbit is not essential. You can just use your phone if you want to. If you have any other kind of smartwatch tracker, you can do that as well. But there are other ways to link your tracker to your phone than to the app.
Fantastic. And I've just downloaded it and just linked my Google phone to it. So it is really easy to do.
It is very easy. It's so much easier than the last system. I literally downloaded it yesterday and I've already started because I want a new jumper. So the jumpers are really nice. They're really swanky.
Great. Do you have a women's badminton team?
So we don't actually have a women's badminton team, but we are always willing to add. So we need at least 4 people to make a women's badminton team. So whoever that person is, give me a wave, or even send me an email, and we will always be willing to start a new team. So we do not have a women's badminton team. We do have badminton sessions, but which women are able to go along to, but we are always willing to start a new team.
Okay, yeah. There's a question about when will the students be able to join the fitness pod for £20 for the whole year? So when can they officially join up, I think?
Come on down right now. As of the 1st of September, which was 2 days ago, you were able to do that. So if you're around now, you can come on down, because the only way to actually join the gym is you have to be physically here to sign up. Okay, we don't have an online joining system. But yes, as I said before, just come on down. We are located in the basement at MDX House. I've said this 3 times now. I will keep saying this until we're finished. So please come on down and find us there.
Fantastic. And I hope that answers your question, Amma. So yeah, so just come on down. I think you do need to have, I'd imagine, so you need a student ID before getting the student membership. Am I correct? Or
so as long as you have your conditional offer on your phone, as long as we know you have a student number, we will let you join the gym.
Fantastic. I think we've got time for a couple more questions, so feel free to keep them coming in. When do sports trials start?
So the first 2 learning weeks of term, so the last week of September. I can't actually give you the date because, okay, hold on. Let me go to my smartwatch. So the 20th, I believe that's right. Is it the 27th? The 27th of September. Yep.
Fantastic. And just to reiterate, you don't have to pay for sports membership just yet. You can just try them out to see how it goes. And do just try lots of new things out. There's loads of amazing sports out there.
Literally everything that we offer during that time will be free. So even the Learn It, Love It program will be free up until the, what week would that be? See, now I've got to look at my watch again. Me and my dates. So that would be up until the 11th of October.
Great. I just seen another sort of reference to badminton, so I think it's definitely worth reaching out to the sports team or Danielle about potentially setting up, because you're probably not the only ones who want a women's badminton team.
No, in the past we have had only 2 people, so just get 2 more and we're good to go. Okay.
Amazing. There's no more questions that I can see. Probably got time for one more, so we'll just wait.
Just having a little stretch.
Okay, well, if that's all, not a problem. I think the guys might hang around for a couple more minutes and they might be able to look at the chat messages if there's any sports related or gym related information you need. But a massive thank you to Danielle, Kezi and Tony for being here. Is there a men's badminton team?
Yes, the men's badminton team does run, yes.
Yes, fantastic. But yeah, huge thank you to the guys for doing such a great session, and especially for really relaxed after that stretches, and I'm sure everyone does. Last question, do you have a boxing gym?
We don't have a boxing gym. We do have a boxing bag set up in the gym, and some of our instructors are qualified in boxing pad work. So it's just a case of coming down and letting them know that you want to do that.
Great questions. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you all. We're now going to go on to our final session. So we have Baloo, who's part of our Learning Support Services team. We've got Raki from the Student Engagement team, and I'm thinking maybe Shalise. Yeah, Shalise and Lizette are here from the accommodation team. They're going to talk to you about key things you can do before starting university. Ask any questions you might have in the chat or by raising your hand, and we'll try to cover them at the end or perhaps during the presentation. But over to you, Baloo.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for that. So yes, there's a checklist before arriving, just with a few basic things just before you arrive on campus or start your studies online. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Lizette and Shalice just to present accommodation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm just going to run through an idea of the sort of things that you need to bring with you if you're going to be staying in the halls of residence, and also if you're staying privately, then it just gives you an idea of the sort of things that you might be needing. So firstly, for the bedroom, you'll need to bring with you duvet covers and pillowcases and pillows. For the sizes of the beds, they differ for each of the halls. So for Platt, Usher, Ivy and Writtle Standard, you have a single size bed. For Unite Olympic Way, it's a large single size bed. And for Writtle Double, it's a double size bed. We recommend you bring an alarm clock so you don't miss any of your lectures or important things that are going on. Coat hangers so you can hang everything up in your cupboards, and a laundry basket is helpful for obviously taking all your laundry down to the washing machines. In the bathroom, we suggest you bring towels, one big and one small at least, your wash bag including toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo and shower gel. And if you're going to have an ensuite bathroom in your room, then you'll need to clean that yourself. So we suggest getting some cleaning products so that you can do that regularly. So toilet cleaner, bleach, toilet brush, etc., and your own toilet rolls. We would also recommend you get a basic first aid kit. Whilst there will be first aid available at the halls, it's always good to have your own plasters and things just for any sort of minor injuries. For the kitchen, it's a good idea to have a look on our website. If you haven't seen our website already, we'll give the details for that, just to see what is provided. Again, it differs in each of the halls, so it's worth having a look. But what you will definitely need to bring is a glass, mug, plate and bowl, a small cutlery set, sharp knife, scissors, some sort of frying pan or wok so you can cook up your food, flat baking tray, bin bags, sandwich bags, foil, cling film and tea towels. And we recommend plastic storage containers so that you can cook up a few days' meals and put them in the fridge or freezer, and which obviously helps to save you a bit of money. So there's support in the halls throughout your time. The hall staff are available from 9 AM to 5 PM, Monday to Friday, and they can assist you with any queries in regards to the halls, such as maintenance issues or anything that's happening with the halls that you're unsure of. They can provide the support out of those hours. So in the evening and at the weekends, there's security on site. And so they can help you with any emergencies, any noise issues. There's always someone there 24 hours a day. And then my team, the Middlesex accommodation team, can help with any queries that you have in regards to your contract and rent payments. We've got our resident assistant scheme. So these are students who are living in the halls, usually second and third years, and they're there to help provide support for you, point you in the right direction if you need any help. They can tell you what support the university can provide. They also organise activities throughout the year, so you can get together and enjoy your time at the hall. So when you arrive, there'll be the details of your resident assistant in your kitchen. They'll be reaching out, make sure you do speak to them and let them know the sort of things that you might want to be doing. But for example, they do quizzes, games nights, sports activities, various cooking things that they can do, pancake making. And so But as I say, do let them know the sort of things that you're interested in, and then they can maybe do something around that. So we've still got rooms available in the halls. So if anyone is interested, please do get in contact. You can go onto our website, as mentioned here on the screen, and you'll find the details of all the halls. We've got a few rooms in most of them. Usher Hall is getting quite booked up, but the others we've got rooms. And you can make an application, or we'll provide you with our contact details. You can give us a call or email to find out what we've actually got available at the moment, and we can give you further details. So this is our contact details. Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask? We've got Shalise with us, who's lived in the halls and has also been one of our resident assistants. So if you want any sort of information about what it's like to live in the halls, then you feel free to ask that.
We don't have any questions at the time being, but if you do have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And then Lizette and Shalise will be able to get back to you for the next few minutes. But there is a question. Does the university provide complimentary accommodation facilities to under 18-year-old students?
No, we don't provide any free accommodation. Under 18s can go into the halls, and they would pay the same as everybody else.
Great, thanks for that question though. Yeah, any questions, Lizette and Shalise can just answer them directly on the chat function. So we'll continue with our presentation.
Sorry,
thank you, Lizette and Shalise.
Sorry to interrupt, Max. There was a question that came up right at the beginning of the presentation today from Sanam. Sorry, I was just scrolling back to find it in the chat. They were just asking if they're planning to travel with their brother who's going to help them settle into the uni accommodation, and were wondering whether he'd be allowed to stay in the room with Sanam for a week, or could he get a room in the halls of residence, in the same halls of residence?
Unfortunately, no. Usually they can stay for a couple of days, but obviously with all the COVID rules and everything at the moment, we can't have anyone else staying within the hall. But we do have a short stay accommodation list, so bed and breakfasts and local hotels and things. So if he wants to drop us an email, then we can send him that list.
Great, thank you very much, Lisa. I'll pop the contact details and the UniHelp page link in the chat now. Thank you.
Right, fantastic. Right, we'll move on. Back to you, Milou.
Thank you very much. So we've got 3 short video clips coming up now. Our first one is welfare, then we've got one followed by well-being and health, and then we've also got our last one, which is the international team. So I'll just quickly share my screen for you.
Hi, I'm Simon. I'm one of the student welfare advisors at Middlesex University, and today we're going to quickly go through your student funding to make sure that you've got the support you're entitled to. We're going to look at what other support there might be out there, and if you run into any difficulties while you're studying, how to get help with those. So for home UK status students, you will have hopefully already applied to Student Finance England for your funding. That's where the bulk of your support is going to come from. You would receive a maintenance loan, which is paid directly into your bank account in 3 instalments. So you basically get a third in October, a third in January, and the final instalment in April time. So the maintenance loan is there to cover your general living expenses for things like rent, food, entertainment, hairdressing appointments, hygiene products, so for your living expenses essentially. There's also a tuition fee loan that covers the cost of your fees. That amount would go directly to the university. So for the maintenance loan support, there are essentially 3 types of maintenance loan that you might be receiving. There's a loan for students who are eligible for benefits, a loan for students that are living away from home and studying in London. And Middlesex is inside the M25. It's a London university, so it'll be the London rate that you would be getting. And also a maintenance loan if you're living with parents. And when figuring out how much support Student Finance England can give you, they would typically want to see what your parental household income is. And you can see the left-hand column, the household income scale, and you can see how that's affected. And essentially, the higher your parents' income might be, the lower the maintenance loan support is you would receive. And the assumption is by the government that your parents are supposed to help you out with that shortfall. Unfortunately, that's not said explicitly, but that's the idea. So, is there any other support from Student Finance England? If you're a student with a dependent adult in your house, there's adult dependence allowance, there's disabled students allowance. Disabled students allowance isn't money in your pocket as such. It's support with costs for equipment or other things to enable you to engage with your studies on the same level as other students, essentially. And you would apply for that along with your Student Finance England application. And there's the tuition fee loan as well, which we've already said goes straight to the university. For student parents, there's the childcare grant. That's for support with childcare costs. It's only for registered Ofsted childcare costs. If you're having to use informal childcare, typically that would be for nursing students who have, or midwifery students who work maybe quite late on a placement or quite early on a placement. There may be some support that you can get from the university for that, but we'll discuss that a bit later. And there's also parent learning allowance, which is an additional grant that you can get from Student Finance England to help with the extra costs that you would have as a parent. But once you're enrolled, there's some letters that you can apply to that may be useful. If you're you can apply for a council tax letter. If you're living in university halls of residence, you don't need to worry about the council tax letter. But if you're sharing with other students in private rented accommodation, you would all need to request a council tax letter to show to the local authority in order to have your council tax liability removed, to make sure you don't have a big council tax bill to pay. If you're sharing with other students, then with other people who are working full time, then you may be eligible for 25% discount on your council tax. But yeah, you would have to request these letters from your UniHub, and it's the UniHelp team that would send them out to your home address. There's also a student bank letter that you can request. Many students apply for a student bank account. You would need to show evidence that you're a student. You do that with the letter there. With that, you would be able to request an interest-free overdraft from your bank. It may be worth shopping around to see what the high street banks are offering. Or if not, you can go to your own bank and ask that they change your current account into a student overdraft account. But yes, it's worth seeing what they offer and how much the overdraft is and how long they will allow you to keep the student overdraft and what interest or charges they might apply to that once you've graduated. Student overdraft can be a really useful tool while you're studying. As we were saying earlier, the maintenance loan is paid in 3 instalments. Many students might dip into an overdraft. So if you get your first maintenance loan paid in October, maybe around November time, it's possible you might have exhausted it, and some students might dip into an overdraft. Then hopefully, as things are now more open and there's more jobs available, you might be able to work over Christmas to get yourself out of the overdraft again. But if you're using the overdraft responsibly, it shows that you're good with money, and it would help improve your credit score, which could be useful in the future. But as long as you're sensible with it, it can be a very useful tool to help you manage your money while you're studying. Hopefully you've all got your funding in place, and once you're enrolled and you've done your ID check, you'll have no problem getting your first instalment of maintenance loan. If you have got any issue with your student funding, if there's any delay with it, there is some support that you can get from the university. Once you're formally enrolled, you could get in contact with us and we could look at supporting you with a bridging loan to help you with the delay with your funding. It's just a small interest-free loan to kind of see you through with basic living costs. while you're waiting for your maintenance loan to be received. Student Welfare Advice Team contact details. You can reach us over the phone. You can submit an inquiry from UniHelp. There's the link to the inquiry system. You can make an appointment with us. It will be a phone appointment, or we can arrange to do Zoom appointments as well. And there's also a live chat where you can speak to an advisor live. And just want to wish you all the best with your future studies. Hopefully you have no issue or problems with your funding, but if you do, then we will do our best to support you with it. Okay, nice speaking to you all. Good luck with everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Simon. So if you guys have got any questions, please feel free to direct them through to finance. Their contact details were on the last slide. Next up, we have got a short video from Vanessa White, our Health and Wellbeing Coordinator. So I'll quickly share my screen for you guys.
Hello, I'm Vanessa and I'm the Student Wellbeing Coordinator, and I'm going to run you through a checklist of things that you can be doing to support your health and wellbeing as a Middlesex student. So the first thing to do that's super important is to register with a GP. So this stands for General Practitioner, which is a doctor close to your term time address. As soon as you've done that, it's really important to make sure that your vaccinations are up to date, and particularly thinking about your vaccinations for meningitis and for measles, mumps and rubella. And that's because these diseases typically spread a little bit easier in environments that you would find yourself in as a student, so living in shared accommodation, for example. If you haven't already, make sure you arrange your COVID vaccinations. If you're an international student and you've arrived in the UK, check out UniHelp for the latest guidance on what this means for you. In a nutshell though, if you get yourself registered with a GP as soon as possible, they will be able to support you with making sure that you get the right dose or second dose if you've already had a vaccine abroad that we're not currently offering in the UK. As it stands, so at the moment it's end of July when I'm recording this, and if you're an international student, you can arrive in the UK, and after a period of isolation, if applicable, you don't need to be registered with a GP to get your vaccination, but we strongly recommend that you do register with a GP as soon as you can, because if you become unwell at any point during your stay in England, you don't want to be trying then to register with a GP to access healthcare. It's far better if you're already registered and you know exactly where you can go to for support. So make sure you download the FICA app and start working on your 7 skills of mental fitness. So if you haven't seen my other recording on student support and wellbeing generally, make sure you watch that. I talk a little bit more about the FICA app in that, but in a nutshell, the FICA app is a great way to be working on your mental fitness and skills such as confidence, connection, stress management, motivation and focus, all these different skills that you're going to need to help you thrive as a student and be successful, and will also see through as life skills as well. So make sure you register for Togetherall and start exploring that. So Togetherall is an online wellbeing platform. It's available 24/7 with moderation by mental health professionals, and again it's a really great place to be checking out self-care courses on a wide number of topics, from things like managing relationships to stopping smoking, managing OCD, anxiety, depression, and there's also a number of areas where you can post to online discussion forums, and you can get advice, and you can help to talk to other people as well and offer your perspective on their concerns. Make sure you connect with your course mates, your roommates, join student union societies, join the WhatsApp groups. Now is a really great time for you to be connecting with other people, to be meeting new people. It may be that you're not able to do as much in person as you would like, so make sure you utilise all of the virtual opportunities available to you. Go to the events, talk to people online, use social media to your advantage, and really use this time to connect with people, so again that you're setting yourself up to be able to thrive and to be able to do well as a student. And lastly, but super importantly, know where you can find support and ask for help when you need it. That's such a key self-care habit, is to ask for help when you need it. Ideally ask for help as early on as possible, so don't wait until a problem becomes really overwhelming. If you're starting to struggle with something, ask for help. We've got a plethora of support available at Middlesex, so go online, go on UniHelp and check out the support available to you. And what I want you to think about is something that you can do today that's going to set you up for a healthier tomorrow. So it might seem that there's quite a lot at the moment that's outside of your control. So what I want you to think about is what's in your control. What's something that you can do today that's in your control, that's going to help you tomorrow, that's going to help you next week, next month, next year. What can you be doing to ensure your success as a student and to help you to thrive? So not just surviving, not just getting by, but thriving, excelling in your studies, in your relationships, in your work, and think broadly. So what combination of new routines might be helpful to your well-being? If you see my other video and you've seen the wellness wheel, you'll know that your well-being is really, really broad. It's not just about your mental health, although that's what we often tend to think about when we use the word well-being. It's also about your physical health, your spirituality, your social connections, your studies, your work. All these different things feed into how we feel generally. So what are some things that you can be doing today that are going to get you into these healthy self-care routines that are going to set you up for success as a student? And lastly, just a sort of final note that we're in it together. So we're all part of Team MDX. Things might seem a little overwhelming, starting university or returning to university. There's lots of information to take in, lots of new people to meet, and it's all a little bit new. Change is quite difficult, but don't forget, we're all here together, we're all in it together, and we're all part of Team MDX. So please do check out my other videos, look at the resources available and the support available to you on UniHub. Educate yourself on all of the great resources and support available to you and use them. That's what we're here for, and best of luck with your studies.
And last but not least, the videos, we've got next up a video from our International Student Advice team. I'm just going to quickly share my screen again for you once again.
Welcome, my name is Chrissy Sava and I'm one of the International Student Advisors at Middlesex University. There are currently 3 international advisors in the team and we can be contacted various ways, which I've listed. You can by creating a ticket through UniHelp, where you can also make an appointment for us to telephone you. By telephoning or emailing the team, we are here to help and advise you on many aspects whilst you are here in England, and if we are unable to, refer you on to the appropriate team. The team's main role is to give free and confidential immigration and visa advice and support to students who are here on a student route visa. We understand that it can be sometimes daunting when you first arrive to a new country and are here to ensure that we can alleviate any concerns that may arise. Please contact us directly, as each scenario is different and we want to make sure that you are given professional advice. Over the last year or so, there have been many changes affecting prospective and current students due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the UK leaving the EU. There has been an impact on EU students now having to apply for a student route visa and also whether they're eligible for the EU settlement scheme. The different approach implemented surrounding students studying online and blended learning and the impact that it has caused with regards to the new way of learning and teaching can cause additional anxiety. However, the university has support and guidance for all students, so please contact us or check our UniHub pages. The team are constantly checking and receiving updates and guidance directly from the UKVI. We work very closely with the student visa compliance team to ensure that these changes are implemented and relayed to students and updated on UniHub. With regards to work, students can work up to 20 hours a week during term time and full-time during the vacation period. And the introduction of the new graduate route visa implemented this summer by the UKVI is a great opportunity for students to work for 2 or 3 years if studying a PhD in the UK after completing their studies. Some students will need to register with the police on arrival in the UK, and this will be stamped in their passport. Please contact us for further guidance. We would recommend that you apply for a national insurance number, which you would need to work in the UK, as there is a long delay in the processing applications, and also recommend that you open a UK bank account. There is information on UniHelp regarding the process, and you will need a student status letter for the bank with your overseas and UK address listed. Opening a bank account in the UK has many advantages for paying for goods in shops and also receiving funds and a salary if you obtain a job. We would also recommend that you register with a doctor, the nearest one to where you'll be living, and information can be obtained on the NHS website. Treatment is free, however you will have to pay for prescriptions, or you can visit a local chemist to buy medication over the counter. Lastly, as mentioned, we are a confidential service, and if you are experiencing any difficulties during your studies with regards to your finances, your course, or any personal issues, please let us know, as we can advise you and refer you on where appropriate teams, as we want to ensure that any of these do not affect your visa status. Welcome to Middlesex again, and enjoy your studies.
Thank you, Chrissy. And that's it with the videos. We've got a brief few slides to go through showing our social networks. I'll firstly hand you over to Raki.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So yes, I'm Raki from the student engagement team, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about social media. So we've got various social channels to help keep you updated with the goings on of the university, from what is happening on campus to news to events. So as well as keeping up to date with everything that's going on, you can also join the conversation with the Team MDX community. And also look out for competitions that take place throughout the year, as there are prizes to be winning. If you haven't just yet, then also join the Middlesex University official freshers group. So this is for all new students, and it's a great place to have any questions you may need answering, to get to know other students, and to find out what it's like to study here at Middlesex.
Thank you, Raki. So we've got our main social media platforms for across the university on the screen right now. So as you can see, MDX Library are currently on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and Twitter, all the same username at MDX Library. Then you've got your Student Union, Middlesex Student Union. They're currently on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So MDXXU for Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And for Twitter, you've got Middlesex SU. MDX Works, who are your employability service, they're also on social media. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can see they've got 3 various usernames. I'm not going to read what it's about, but you can see it on the screen. So take a picture and make sure that you follow it, all of the social media platforms in your own time. It's really useful, like Raki says. And yeah, that takes me to the end of the presentation. So I'll hand you back over to Max.
Great, thanks so much for that, Baloo, Raki, Lizette, and Shalise. You know, lots of very insightful things happening at the university, and do make sure you follow us on social media, just like Baloo has said. So that's us done for today's event. We hope you enjoyed the sessions, that you can take something away from it. This is our 3rd week and final session of the Ready for Anything program for the Ready to Thrive. But next we've got Ready to Study, and we hope to see some of you again next week. We also have an on-campus event happening next week on next Thursday. If you're in the country and you haven't booked on, make sure you do come along. It's a great way of meeting new students and making new friends, which Kira will now share the link in the chat to allow you to book on if you want to come. But that's us done. Any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, you're free to go. Have a good day.